Hey, boys and girls, today I want us to talk about two ways that we can represent numbers. One way we can represent them is in just their standard form, just the way that we're regularly used to seeing a number. And another way we can represent numbers is in a non-standard form, or a different way than we usually would think of representing a number. So I want to show you an example real quick, just a small example. So let's say that I pick the number 62. Okay, that's the standard way we represent it. We write 62, right? That's the standard way we write it. And if I build it, I would build it like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, right? That would be my standard way to represent a number: 6 tens and 2 ones. Or I would write it. We would write it as 6 tens and 2 ones. Okay, that's just our standard way of writing a number that we see it, right? We call that the standard form, just a regular way to write a number, okay? But we also have what we call a non-standard form. So let's think about that number 62 again, okay? A non-standard way to write that number is I might go back and make my 62 again: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2. But instead of having 6 tens and 2 ones, maybe I'll break this up. So I actually have 5 tens, 5 tens. Hold on. Sorry, Mr. Strickland's not very good at writing on this thing. Wish it had a typing part. 5 tens. And then instead, I have 10, 11, 12 ones. So 5 tens and 12 ones would be a non-standard way to write that. Okay, that's one non-standard way to write that. Or I could even change it up again and even make another one of these out. So instead, I would have now I only have 4 tens, but I have 10, 22 ones. 22 ones. Those are non-standard ways to write those numbers. See, I still have the number 62. I still have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, but I have it in a non-standard form. 4 tens and 22 ones would be non-standard. That's not the way we usually see it, but it still means 62. Let's try another one. Let's say I want to do the number 124. Okay, so my standard way to write that number, or to make that number, would be 100, 2 tens, and 4 ones. Okay, but that would just be standard, right? 100, 2 tens, 4 ones. So if I'm writing it real quick, I would write 1. Let's make numbers instead. That'll go faster. So I'd have 100, sorry, Mr. Strickland's writing skills. 100, 2 tens, and 4 ones. Okay, that's my standard way to write that number, the standard way we think about that number, right? But if I want to change that number up to a non-standard way to write it, I can break some of my numbers up, right? I could break up my tens. And I could have 100, 110. I would change this. 110. And now I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 ones. That would be a non-standard way to make that number. I could even change it up and change out my hundreds. Check this out. What if I break this up? I could change that to having no hundreds, right? I could have no hundreds in here. And then I actually have 11 tens and 14 ones. But do you see, even though it looks different, it's still the same number. We call that non-standard ways. So today on your braining camp, I want you to practice making some numbers. Write a 2 or 3 digit number. Think of it the first way in standard form, and then break it up and see how many different ways you can make that in non-standard form. Okay, then I want you to draw a picture of what you did and go on Seesaw and explain to me how you did a standard form of a number and a non-standard form of a number. All right, let me know if you need any help.